Good evening, Bahamas, and welcome. I know this is a surprise live. We didn't have any intention to do this today, but we kept getting calls from persons who was telling us about the mischief of the Free National Movement, and this one is, again, kind of awkward because people keep saying that we keep talking about the FNM and they want us to talk more about the PLP. I don't know how much more they want us to talk about the PLP. We've been exposing everything the PLP has been doing by ourselves without the help of the FNM. But of course, when they come at us, we have to respond to them. So thank you and thank you for joining us. Use your ad highlights, use your ad shares, because those demonic FNMs have got caught lying again. Uh, and again, I'm going to have to speak about them and address this thing where they're trying to put forward this thing to say that somehow that we are working for the PLP. Well, we can fix that for them tonight. And we can show you who is really working for and working with the PLP. If you want to believe the lie of the FNM, then that's on you. But here we go. The FNM has been sharing the picture that you've been seeing on your screen, and it's a picture of me shaking hands with a member of the PLP. That's actually Valentine Grimes, and sitting next to him was another gentleman, Alex Storr, who's a PLP. And so the FNM is sharing that all around, saying that somehow that I've sold out to the PLP or that I'm some kind of political troll or opportunist, et cetera, et cetera. They are pushing this far and wide because they believe that it will save them. I've never seen a so-called third party that they believe can't win, who has been focused on so much in the history of this nation. But of course, they keep focusing on us, so we're going to respond to them, but they are pushing that narrative forward. This is the FNM, and this is what they do. They push lies. But what they didn't reveal to you that that meeting was not some kind of clandestine secret meeting. In fact, I mentioned that meeting on my live yesterday. That was actually the parliamentary registry department actually called for all three of the parties represented in the House of Assembly to meet. They wanted to speak to us to update us on some changes that they wanted to make. They had already made those changes as to where persons will now be able to transfer their address for the purpose of voting without any proof of address. You can just come and say, I've moved here or there, or point on the map if you don't know where you've moved. And they were informing us because it would be kind of unlawful to do it without consulting with us. But they did it after the fact, which was out of order, but nonetheless, that was the purpose for the meeting. So this was not some meeting with me and the PLP, because I want you to understand that this wasn't just us. Because sitting right next to Valentine's Grind was this lady. And so they shared this picture. Where's the other picture? Wait for it to load. They shared this picture, which shows me shaking hands with Valentine Graham. And I'm going to tell you what that handshake was actually about. But they didn't show that sitting right next to Valentine Grimes was Dr. Dwayne Sands, as you see pictured right here, and Miss Ursula Dean, who is a member of the FNM, a leader, and she was there representing the FNM. And so they didn't show that picture, nor did they show Dwayne Sands also shaking hands with Valentine Grimes and Alex Storr, but they're showing me shaking hands with the gentleman. So right next to them were these people. And here's Dwayne Sands right here in the meeting, sitting with them. Stay tuned. This gets serious. It gets deep. And as you can see, the parliamentary registry, I guess they wanted proof that they actually consulted with us. And so they took a picture with all of us. I'm sitting next to Dwayne Sands, and you can see the whole team is right there. And so what the FNM did was they took one picture and they started sharing that to make the people feel that there was some secret message, some secret meeting where I made some agreement with the PLP. And it's all over their pages, and they're sharing it all over WhatsApp to try to push a narrative. And this is the demonic things that the FNM does. That's the party that is known for lying and saying, oh, the VAT money was stolen. Where the VAT money gone? And then saying, oh, the VAT money right there. That's the party known for saying, oh, we are going to eliminate VAT when we get, and then they increase your VAT. They're the party, Dwayne Sands and these guys who apparently would have shared this picture, and the FNM. That's Dwayne Sands, who was condemned by the courts because of interference in those cases. That's Dwayne Sands, who a lady says he gave her a contract to get him to set up, and that's her words, set up Frank Smith, and and she refused to do so, and so he took the contract back. All right, that's what the lady alleged live on our show and to the public. And so that's that Dwayne Sands, and that's that FNM that does these kinds of things. I could go on with more, but I don't want to focus too much on that. And so that's what they did today. And this right here is an example of why you cannot trust the FNM. I'm not saying that you should trust the PLP. My lord, they got to go. Let's make that clear. The PLP got to go. They cannot be allowed to continue in this country. But the FNM is not the answer because they are just as demonic and just as evil. They steal on big levels. They're now going after the Port Authority. The FNM is. All right? They already took our ports that was on Bay Street, our shipping ports. They've already took the cruise port. They take on big levels. And so they're not innocent in all of this. And the reason I focus is to make sure you understand that we can't do what we've been doing, swinging right back and forth, thinking that this party is so bad, we just got to swing hard the next way, and then get another tyrant. Then say, this party is so bad, swing hard the next way. My duty is to remind you that the FNM is not the answer. Yes, the PLP has to go, but the FNM is not the answer. That's what I'm supposed to do. I have two enemies. What do you want me to do? Not talk about the FNM? Every single scandal that the PLP has put forward, sorry, that has happened under the PLP, it was us who exposed it. It was us attacking the PLP straight through from day one, from the month of the election. When the immigrants started floating in, we were the ones exposing stuff with the Michael Johnson case. It was us exposing stuff with that case. It was us who called the FBI. It's us who called Scotland Yard to let you know that they were lying to the Bahamian people. There's myriad of situations that we expose and we dealt with as relates to the PLP constantly. And that's what we continue to do. But let me show you. Okay, we were offline for a second. I don't know what all you missed because I could hear myself. But ladies and gentlemen, we were the ones exposing everything with this PLP. The FNM was not there. The FNM voted for everything that the PLP put forward in the House of Assembly. Everything. All right? Go and check it for yourself. The public record is right there. The only thing that they didn't vote for was when we exposed the fact that it was voting for everything with the asylum bill, which was their asylum bill. All of a sudden, they realized that people would be watching, and so they voted against that. But when it was tabled, they didn't have any objection when it was tabled. They didn't notify the public, they didn't say anything. But of course, notice now, they're saying nothing about this asylum bill. The conversation is gone. And so they are not fighting. They ask some questions sometimes, but they don't really fight. It's only the COI who has been standing up to this government constantly. And so we got to get something straight. Now, the FNM is trying to make it seem like we are working with the PLP, with this meeting. But I've come to tell you about the facts of that meeting. I mentioned the meeting yesterday, but said I had a video to play, but we didn't have time to play it because our internet was bad yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, that meeting was to address some concerning, including immigrants having issues. You sure you can't hear it? All right, so okay, we're up. Um, so listen, that meeting was called with the government, all right, by the PRC for them to meet with all the parties, and that was called. Okay, I think it's some issues on that device. Okay, let me switch devices. I'm sorry, I got to get close to y'all on this. All right. Okay, let's just get close. So, ladies and gentlemen, the issue was to talk about persons registering and being able to just go and say where they live or point to where they live. I'm going to play a video. What the FNM probably forgot is that we were recording video of the whole meeting. And so we're going to play a snippet of it so you can see exactly what happened and exactly who was working together. Who are two peas in a pod? The COI was in that meeting the whole time for more than an hour fighting for the Bahamian people. We were fighting because they were allowing people with new passports who could not speak English to just come and say, I live here or I live there and just be registered. And the persons who work there and are responsible are saying there's nothing they could do because that's the rules the government put in place. So these people are just being registered. And that's what was happening. And so the COI on its own was fighting. And guess what? We tried to put some things in place to stop that. You know why that happened? Because I went with someone who wanted to transfer their registration just to witness to see what was going on the day they started that. And there was a man of Haitian descent, and he had a brand new passport, and well, I have a copy of the passport, but I didn't bring it because I didn't expect to go live. But he just came there, and they asked him where he lived. He said Paul Street. And they were like, Paul Street? Where is that? And he was like, Paul Street. It's like, okay, show us on the map. He couldn't show them on the map. He called someone on the phone, and they were speaking to him, and they told him to just tell them Paul Street. And he said Paul Street. And they told him, say by Calvary Baptist Church. And he said Calvary Baptist Church. That's on East Street South. And so they were like, you got to show us. And so he said, that person on the phone, they won't speak, I was right there. And the person said, "Well, tell him you live Jacaranda Street. So he said, Jacaranda. I said, no, buddy, that's Pinewood. That's Pinewood. I didn't know any what you talking about. And so he said Jacaranda. So they said, well, he was able to identify, so we have to register him. And a lady was behind him, and she was very appalled. She actually is a PLP lady. Her father actually ran for the PLP before, and was a diplomat for them. And she was very disgusted at the fact of what was happening right before her eyes. And she said, "No, no, 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 no! This man can't speak English." And she kept protesting, "How could he not speak English? And he's showing you a passport." And they were like, "Well, that don't come before us." And they were like, "But you have to speak English to get a passport, to get naturalized." And they were like, "Yeah, but we're following instructions." And so the lady was angry. I said, "Ma'am, you could object, You live in that constituency?" She's like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." Because they was putting them in a specific constituency, and not Pinewood, by the way. But they was shifting him to Bamboo Town for some reason, and she said, "No, no, 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 I am going to object to this." And when they object, the law says that if someone is present and they object for a reason for someone being registered, and they have the same constituency, then they're supposed to fill out a form, and that person is supposed to be refused registering, and they're supposed to form a committee and then investigate that person to make sure that they are qualified voter, that they live in a constituency, or that they qualified, they got their passport, etc., the right way. And so she objected, and guess what happened, Bahamas? The lady got up, called the head office on Tony Williams Harding Highway, and explained to them what was happening. And they told her to not do the form, but to tell the fella to come to the headquarters to register. And guess what that means? That we wouldn't be there. So they would just go and register him. And guess what they did? They registered him. And so that's where the problem lies. The complaint should have been put in, but the instruction was given, no, just send him to headquarters, because no one will be there because at the other places, there's just a table and chairs, and anyone could be there while you're registering. But at headquarters is set up a little bit different. And so that's why they told him, come to headquarters, we'll register him here. And the lady was angry. And so that was our thing. We were trying to get a solution to this because that seems problematic for our democracy. And so we tried to make a suggestion. The law allows us to observe and to object. Why don't you provide officially 3 chairs, or for since it's 3 parties, or a chair there? And if we see something like this happening, that we can notify we can object. And listen, the FNM and PLP got together and they started going after me. And they started saying one thing after the next. Dwayne San said, no, that would be harassment, that would be intimidation to have them there. They started making all kind of excuses. The other guy there was like, why y'all concerned about them speaking English? You don't have to speak English to get a passport. And I'm like, yeah, but it raises a concern that you may not have gotten it legitimately, and they have the parliamentary registry has a right to check if they suspect anything or to ask for more documentation. But they went after me, and Dwayne San said something that you're going to hear in this video in a second that made it clear the real truth. He said it's 2-1, which meaning the PLP and the FNM against me, and so you're overruled. That's what Dwayne San said. So those two peas in the pod didn't want any accountability. All we wanted was accountability. Since they were relaxing the policy, I accidentally at the time said relaxing the law, but it wasn't the law, it's the policy. Since you're relaxing the policy, just let us be able to observe. But the FNM, nor the PLP, want an observer there, even though the law allows for it. And so that's what that was about. So those are the two peas in the pod because they got together and fought. You would think that the FNM would want accountability, wouldn't they? Shouldn't they have objected, saying, government, y'all are relaxing these laws. This should not happen. We don't like what's going on. We stand with the COI on this. No, they didn't want accountability. So, ladies and gentlemen, since the FNM wanted to, and we have the whole thing, all right, but because the government was also recording. Well, not the government, the PRD was also recording. So we decided to record the incident also. Uh, let's see, we have that here. Okay, just give me a second. Give me a second. I want to play this video for you because I want you to see. I'm sorry. I just gotta. I thought I had this lined up. I am so sorry. Let's see if we got that lined up. Where is that video? I have to play it from another device just to make this quick because it's going to take too long. Let me see. Because I don't think you'll be able to. I want you to hear the PLP and the FNM together fighting the COI. Don't let these people fool you to think that they are not one. They are one in saying they are partners in crime. They are doing this together, Bahamas. They are trying to stop the COI by any means necessary. All right. So I'm letting the video download while I talk. COI by any means necessary. Okay. Trying to see if y'all can hear it. All right. Uh, we just want what is right to be done. That's all we want. We just want our country to operate properly. All right. It's gonna take some time. Let me see if I could share that on the screen in the back so you can actually see this. That might be easier. No, it's almost there. I'll just wait for it to do it and then we'll download it. I want you to see this. I want you to see this perfectly. Oh my God, now it's got to start over. All right. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to see this video. Like I said, I'm so sorry. I thought that we had this all lined up. We were rushing trying to get started. And I'm going to get this up for you in a second. I want you to see the PLP and FNM in action working together. So don't fall for their fake lies. The PLP and the FNM is one. And I said is one. They have always been one. They've always been working together. So don't mind them telling you this nonsense that we are working with the PLP. That is a lie from the pits of hell. We are not working with them. We will not work with them. We have no interest in working with them. So I just want to make that abundantly clear to you. I'm trying to see if we could share this, share this for you. Get this connected. Oh my God, this is gonna switch. Okay, what do we got here? What do we got here? Okay, yes. All right, so okay, let's try that again. Okay, we're connecting. Come on, let's go. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to see this video. So I decided to just play it on the screen behind me so that you could still see it, and that'll be the quickest way. As soon as it connects, just give me a sec to get it connected. It wouldn't connect. Okay, let's try that one more time. No, I'm going to share this on social media. It doesn't connect there. Okay, let's see if it connects now. Okay, it's ready to go. Connected. All right. So, all right. All right. Let's close that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to see this with your own eyes. All right. And so, what you're about to see uh, is the FNM and the PLP in action. How are you going to hear this? You say you can't hear it online. Can you hear it online? Oh, wow. That's crazy. Oh, wow. That's interesting. You say you can't hear it online. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to just play this from my device. We wanted to get it out there quickly because I don't want to do a long live. I want you to see this because I want you to see the behavior of the PLP and FNM. I'm so sorry everything lined up and wasn't able to get it done this time. I'll share it on social media also, but I'm just going to play it from my phone so you'll at least you'll be on. So y'all can let me know if it can hear it properly. All right. So I'm just going to device. All right. This is the argument that was going on, and the COI was alone, as always, defending the Bahamian people. There we go. It's almost like we have no choice. We just go in this direction. We just go into the motion. And so that's naturally what you're going to get. But if there was a proper consultation process, I don't see why there couldn't have been before this stuff was done. Right? I don't think we would have had this kind of skepticism that you're experiencing now. Now, I just want to say that um, can we allow for a seat for observers at these registration stations? I know they're available at these other stations. There's a seat there, but we need to put persons there to monitor this whole process because there are things happening that you guys are unaware of, especially here. We need to know. I've not seen the process here. Someone needs to be able to be here from any party that wants to observe to be able to say this person should not register. I think that's going to have to happen because the process has been made easier. You say you want help from us to report stuff. Well, the law has something for us to object to persons, so we need that to be made available to persons to be assigned because we've witnessed persons who can't speak English come in point and be allowed to register. Now, what the law makes allowance for is for the person objecting to be from the same constituency as the person who is trying to register. So
That is a policy decision that the commissioner would have to make.
We've made many policy decisions here when we saw weaknesses in the process, including when the rooms aren't big enough, etc. And you make a policy decision now to allow persons to just point and say where they live. And so I think that everyone here can agree, as we've done in other things, that we should allow persons to be able to sit there and and object, or at least if the law doesn't allow the form to be filled out, for that to make it note that returning officer has to start this process or reject that person from registering, because we don't know who they are and we can't confirm where they live. If you say you live here, then you switch it. Oh, I live here. As a police officer, if I ask you your name and you say my name is John Doe, and while I'm booking you, someone passes and say, "Hey, Michael, you lock up."
Mr. Bain, I hear you. I understand what you're trying to accomplish. But we need to be careful that we don't end up with chaos.
It's going to be chaos if we don't have order. I'm asking you for order so we don't have chaos. I'm just saying checks and balance. If the law allows for someone to object, give 3 seats. Oops. If they want it, for persons to sit there um, for 8 hours, however long it's going to be open. And if someone is coming to register, they can say, listen, this person should not be allowed to register. They don't know who they are. I think that's fair.
It is not. It is not fair. It is intimidation. And the whole idea is that if we are talking about wanting to encourage people to vote, the idea of having somebody sitting
legitimately vote, my brother.
It doesn't matter who you are. It is an intimidation tactic. And so the process needs to be fair and transparent, but that doesn't mean that you allow to have somebody who could, by their presence, intimidate somebody who might be afraid.
Right.
So register not to vote. But you're saying that they're saying that they prefer for us to go to people's houses and knock on the door and say, "Do you live here?" That's intimidation. To come to someone's house.
No, we never said that.
You said that you want us to go to their houses and check. You want us to have to do that and check to see if that person lives there. And if they don't live there, to report it.
With all due respect.
Yeah, however it is a check that has to be made. It doesn't hurt to have somebody, they're not in political paraphernalia, but to have some, I mean, they legally can do it, all right? Nothing can stop someone from standing in that area as a public place, all right? But I'm saying we should allow this to happen because we're just opening the floodgates and saying, anyone just come tell us where you live, and that's straight. So now it looks like everybody here.
2-1?
Say again?
2-1? Override.
Can I just ask?
As you heard just now, as you heard Dwayne San saying, 2-1, meaning the PLP and FNM, they override me. So I was asking for accountability and transparency, but of course, the FNM was the first to argue. You heard Dwayne San started saying, no, we don't want that. Because they want to send their people too, to be able to just go there and just point. People who don't belong, probably, that's what I believe. And so they don't want accountability. And both of them are working together. And you heard them saying 2-1, meaning the PLP and the FNM working together. All we are asking for is accountability and transparency. I'll play that little piece again for you and let it continue. Anyone just come tell us. It looks like everybody here.
2-1? 2-1? Override.
Can I just ask?
Excuse me.
One at a time.
Every time we've had a vote on something, everyone must agree. All right? Every
We
time.
can't agree to do something that's against the law. Like, it's not
What is against the law? To have
The
observers?
question was raised earlier about whether you can allow for someone to object. Ms. Smith advised, and this is what's in the law, that in the law you have to be in that constituency. What you're now suggesting is that any person, because they're affiliated with a party and has some authorization by a party, can come and object. That's not in the law.
So y'all are starting the process so that when y'all come back to us when election time comes, that we must just object to something because it's not in the law. We have allowed things that is not in the law in the last several elections from 2017. All right? So don't tell me now all of a sudden, because we want checks and balances, you don't want no one there. When they hear a man can't speak English and the man don't know where he lives.
You keep bringing up this English thing, right? If he is it by law a requirement to be able to speak English in order to vote?
No,
in order to register.
No, it
Maybe
isn't.
in order to get a passport, he produced a valid document in order to be able to register. So come on, why we?
No, but they hold on.
So you're saying that he produced a passport. He produced a passport that the Parliamentary Registry Department decided to accept as a valid form of Canadian citizenship.
There are
and
many
you're questioning whether he can speak English.
There are many.
That is a question that should have come at.
Now you hear the FNM and PLP arguing that once they have their passport, you can challenge. This is what they're saying. All right, they're saying that he produced a passport, so you must just let him be able to register, regardless of whether he can speak English or not. You're hearing it with your own ears. That's the FNM and the PLP arguing together for this chaos. Continue.
At the place of naturalization.
But let me answer that properly. There are many instances where the Parliamentary Registry Department did not accept the passport, where they found that there were fraudulent passports. You heard it just say that.
That the
All right.
passport was
So
fraudulent? That's a different
what
question.
I'm saying is, it could be, and it could cause rise to suspect. If something, hold on, if something suspicious is going on, that returning officer, I think I'm calling them the right thing.
Revising.
The revising, sorry about that. That revising officer has a right to question or for ask for further things. So if you do not speak English and you have a new passport, all right, you can see it's new. Like the experience that I had. I have the passport. I just didn't bring it with me today. If you have a new passport, you cannot speak a word of English and you cannot point out where you live. There's no reason that person should be told to come to headquarters to register. And that man is now registered. All right? That's the problem. So all we are saying is, since we are relaxing the laws, we're not here objecting, you know. No, sorry, we're not relaxing the laws. Since we have changed the policy.
Let me make it clear. I'm sitting.
All right, so there was more conversation, and again, we have the full thing. So the FNM wanted to get cheeky by putting just that picture of us at this meeting, making it seem like I was having some kind of secret meeting. But since they want to open those can of worms, we're gonna release more of this meeting so you can see what's going on. The FNM and the PLP are working together as always. The COI was standing up for the integrity of our elections. That is what we were doing, and that is what we will continue to do. We cannot let the PLP and FNM continue to swing us back and forward. All right? And so we stood up. We stood up for what is right. Okay? And so, in essence, they won't provide us a cease to do so, but we can go there as citizens. And I want to tell every citizen, if you are there to verify, if you're going to verify, and of course, he also said at this meeting that you don't have to verify. I was on the news tonight also. If you're going there to transfer, etc., the law allows you to challenge anyone. And when you challenge them, don't listen to that story about, oh, let them go to headquarters. No, insist that they let you fill out that form and stop that person from voting if you believe that they should not be legitimately voting. If the person is legitimate, that's a different story. But if you feel that that person shouldn't be voting, you have a right to stand up, and the government shouldn't be playing tricks at this point. And so the PLP and FNM were working together. And so they put out that wicked picture, as you saw before. They put out that evil picture. And this is why you cannot trust the FNM. All right? And so they are going to continue and start to fight dirty because they want to get back in the cookie jar badly. And so they put out this picture. And let me tell you what this picture was about. This actually happened when I was insulting Valentine Grimes. I don't remember exact words it was said. I could probably send the video out. But I was saying that we can't trust this man during elections. I was making it clear that we don't trust this man, that he is always up to some skullduggery when it comes to our elections, is what I was saying. All right? I said in election time, but at election time, this man, you cannot trust anything with him. And instead of being a turned around and gave And that's when I guess the FNM took that advantage to do whatever they were doing, or whoever took the picture in the FNM spread it. But I was actually making it known, interfering with our elections, in my opinion. And so that's what that picture was actually about. And the FNM was there, and they know that. And they also spread that picture. Look at them. Look at what they did. Look at what Dwayne Science and them did. They spread that picture knowing that he was sitting there too, knowing that they were the ones there working together, but they put that picture out and say two peas in one pod, trying to make it seem like COI and the PLP are working together. No, the PLP and FNM have been working together to bamboozle you for a very long time. And you better wake up and don't fall for their tricks. There's some people saying that we're going to work for the. Let me tell you how you know the COI and the PLP is not working together. Because if we were working with them, their trolls wouldn't be attacking us like they are. If I was working with the PLP, do you think their trolls would be on a daily basis in every WhatsApp, all over social media, attacking me if I was supposed to be there to help them? Think about that. Make that make sense for 1 second. Do you think that I would be out there saying the things that I'm saying about the PLPs, about Grave Davis, about all of the scandals? Don't let the FNM and them bamboozle you. They want you to swing hard to the FNM so they can continue with their rape and robbery of this country. The Guardian and Tribune has already started attacking the COI. They are going to come at us, the oligarchs. We made a big statement about this Port Authority because that's their next plan. And then after that, once they get in, they also want Morgan's Bluff and Andres. Don't let that happen. Don't let it happen. All right? They want Morgan's Bluff and they want the limestone in Andres. They want to destroy our what fields in Andres. That's what the FNM wants. So they're going to come at me. The FNM is, all right, hard. So once you see these oligarchs coming at me, watch out for, you see the Guardian started to attack us to put out something out there. So if you see Alexio Knowles coming at me, that's the law firm, or Alexio, or Ferguson, whatever, that's them trying to fight us because they don't want us to get in. They want them to continue. So if you see anything with Alexio and those and with me, you know what it means. They are trying to attack because they're trying to discredit me. You've seen it for yourself. I've shown you that that picture is absolutely false. All right, because this Ursula Dean in the red jacket. All right, sitting behind them is their FNM people also, right behind these PLPs, because this was a meeting. Why didn't they say that? Why are they all over social media trying to deceive you? This isn't necessary, man. This isn't necessary. You can speak the truth. All right? You can speak the truth. But this is why no one should trust the FNM. They will lie and do anything to get in and then tell you next time for y'all. That has always been the case. All right? So again, we don't need the PLP there. We've been fighting the PLP on our own for 4.5 years. They ain't been fighting them. Yeah, they ask some questions every so often, but they ain't been fighting them. We've been fighting them. All right? Let me make this clear. The PLP abused, kicked, stumped, and dragged women on Goodman's Bay Beach. Put those women in a cell for more than the 48 hours that they're entitled to be in there. The women who were having their monthly cycles were not allowed to handle it or to get anything to handle it. Nothing was received for them. I was not allowed my medication. If anyone thinks for 1 second that we're going to carry any water for the PLP, you must have lost your minds. The PLP and the FNM are the problem with this country, and they got to go. Both of them. There's some people who feel like, oh, you may take some votes from the FNM and cause the PLP to win. They said you're going to be spoilers. The PLP and FNM have been spoiling this country. They are the spoilers. They're destroying this nation. Can you wake up and see that? You want to go back to the FNM? If the FNM wins, the PLP wins. If the PLP wins, the FNM, have you not always seen that? What is going to change if you go back to the FNM again? No, we need real change and we have to fight for it. We have to believe in our Bahamian people that for once they want to see this change, that for once they could try something different. We have to give them the choice. Every election, they try to get the third party to sell out. I have been made offers. I have not sold out and I have anything from them. In the next 2 months, next 2 weeks, they're going to start attacking me like crazy. The plan's already done. I'm in all of their meetings. I know what's going on. I'm not there physically, but I have people there. So I know what's going on, as I always have. Their plan, both of them, is to work together to stop the COI because they don't want us in the House because there's going to be accountability. Their worst nightmare is us in the House of Assembly. Graham made a comment well, he made a comment. We made this clear to you. Don't listen to me if you don't want to. But if the FNM or PLP wins, you're going to have 15% VAT. Remember, I told you that. When I looked and did my research and I saw that the government was going to bring VAT because of the pressure that was being put on them, first when people started saying it, the government was like, no, that ain't true. We'll never bring VAT. VAT ain't going to happen. VAT in our country? We ain't going to let it happen. Then when we look, VAT. I warned the whole country. I was on the radio. I warned the country, VAT is coming. You can have customs and VAT and every other tax that you have. They're going to rape us and the cost of living is going to go up. I warned the whole country. They didn't listen. But guess what? I also told people NIB was going to go up. I told them NIB was going to rise. And I showed them the documents and showed them how they're raping and robbing NIB to fund their oligarch companies. And you are going to have to pay for it. And guess what? People didn't listen. What did Brave say? Oh, NIB is not going to rise. And I'll never let it happen on my watch. A couple of weeks later, NIB is raising. I told everyone, I said, listen, your BC rates is going to rise because of this, that, and that. Watch what is happening. They're going to start to charge you extra. Because Focal was getting money to buy the oil to sell the BPL. BPL was borrowing the money to buy the oil from Focal. So he's paying for the oil twice. And then a fuel surcharge. They told everyone the fuel surcharge is going up. You know what Brave said? No, I will not let that happen on my watch. And then guess what happened a couple of weeks later? Press statement from the Prime Minister's office. We're raising BEC rates. So I'm telling you now, you don't have to listen to me. It's simple. VAT is going to raise to 15% right after election. Almost immediately. VAT is going to raise to 15%. You don't have to listen. Screenshot this and play it back later. You're also going to get hit with income tax. Pintard already hinted it at their convention. You don't have to listen to me, but when 25 to 30% is going to start at 25%, and it's going to increase, of your salary is coming out every month, hey, eventually 25% of your salary is going to come out with NIB. That's already implemented. It's going to raise every 2 years until it's 25%. That's not my story. That's the reality. It's going to raise until it's 25% of your salary. So if you're making $400, $100 is going to NIB. Another 25% is going to go to income tax. That's 50% of your salary. Put on your red and yellow or blue, because they don't identify with the old PLP no more. Put on your red and yellow shirts and you go shake pom-poms for that. When all we got to do is utilize our natural resources and benefit from our natural resources. From companies like Dubai and Qatar and those countries did, and go into business. We need to make more money, not tax our people more. I keep saying this to you. If you make $1,000 a month and your bills is $1,500 a month, cutting down your spending is not gonna get you to 1,500. You still don't have the 1,500. Taking austerity measures, meaning spending less, you still only have $1,000. What we need to do as a country is make more income. And that is why we are saying that we are going to use our natural resources, our carbon credits. And the reason you're going to see Alexio and these other people and the Tribune and all these people start to attack me and the Guardian and Alexio Knowles, remember that name, Alexio Knowles, the law firm. The reason you're going to see them start to attack me, remember that screenshot this, remember this, they can attack me, is because, remember, it's Ferguson and Alexio, them, the partners, and Brave them, they going after the carbon credits. They forming the company. Notice no one talking about that company they form no more. Notice they ain't coming back and accounting for what's going on with that. The carbon credits, the blue bonds, they want to take that and keep it for themselves. I want to give it to the people. I want to build our hospitals with an S. I want to give us good roads and a great airline, an electricity system that works, and a ferry system that connects our islands, and a cable system that connects our islands, bridges connecting some of our islands, Grand Bahama, and Abaco, etc. We can do that with what we have. We don't have to be beggars. You see what is happening in Burkina Faso. It is doable. I want us to farm our food, organic food. That's all I want. The PLP has failed you up to this time. They've failed you. The FNM has failed you up to this time. What do you expect from them? They never built you a hospital. So by voting for the PLP again, you're saying we don't want a hospital. We don't want no good education because they didn't deliver that. You're saying we don't want to fight crime. We don't want nothing. That's what you're saying. And so they're bringing up these little small stuff. We did the breakfast program that they got from Vision 2025. Little small things. What's that? What does it say? Black Belt News reports first about Maria and her FNM application to run. Now you see it again. Listen, this is election season. You can hear all kind of stuff. Charlotte Green, this and that. Dr. Veronica McIver, this and that. Listen, man. Lincoln Bean, this and that. Listen, you can hear and see all kind of things. Don't believe nothing they say. All right? If there's anything for you to find out, you can find it out from us. Don't spread nothing they say. We don't have time for this nonsense. That's the old weapons. I don't work on the smart Bahamians. All right? So let the FNM show who they truly are. That's the lying party. They lie Jesus off the cross, make themselves look good. Remember, I showed you the document from the CIA itself. I showed you the document when they wanted to do an indictment on the leader of the Bahamas, on Celinda Pillay at the time. And they were looking to see what the pros and cons would be, how it would affect him politically. And they said, well, the FNM won't be able to attack him, because they fool him with drugs too. That's basically what the CIA was saying. The PLB could just say, hey, y'all dealing drugs too. The FNM always pretends like they're the good guys because they steal on a big level where most Bahamians won't even see it. They steal in big stuff. They deal in ports. All your your what you call it, your heritage sites. They stealing on a big level. So most people they don't see that. But I showed you a document from the CIA, a declassified document that says the FNM just as bad. Only us don't realize it. Now, last thing, someone says indictment coming. All right, um, indictment coming for many of those on the top. Y'all can see it. I can't talk what I know, but coming. Now, the young man from defense force officer, he's a deal. Let me tell you something. He talked. He talked. He called the names. He talked what he knows, and he's a smart. He talked. They're going to give him. Well, you saw it in the papers. I actually saw the actual documents from the government. We'll see what happens in the end. But he has cancer and he wants to come home. But the government feels, the prosecutors feel like he has to get something. But he's not the only one who was arrested. And guess what? He talked. And others talked. So uh, you all talking about me saying, yo, I need to save more with the, I don't know how much more you want me to say with the BLP. We've been talking with them for the last 4 years. We've been exposing them. Only us been out there fighting them and protesting and getting locked up and dealing with them. But the PLP has a lot of things to worry about. All right? I'll let that play out. But I know plenty. The FNM is also accused in all of this because the investigation started from 2021. Did y'all catch on to that? The two of them just pass everything right on to each other. I want y'all to notice the officers who've been arrested. All of them are FNM police officers. This Sonny Miller thing was the case that the US wanted cracked because it connects. Whose plane was it? Which drug dealer plane was it? Was it someone who was a player? Whose plane was that in the Sonny Miller case? Who is it connected to? What MP is now connected? Is a PM connected? Y'all better wake up. Y'all talking about FNM PLP? They got what they need. That was the domino. And that is a domino effect. This country has been run like a drug mafia. This country, not just under the PLP. Remember, that investigation started in 2021 under the FNM. You understand? Notice the FNM ain't focusing on that. Notice they ain't beating the PLP with it. So FNM, y'all come at me saying I working for the PLP or some nonsense. Listen, we don't sell out. The COI don't sell out. That's what you all do. The FNM is sellouts for the oligarchs, taking our food program and giving it to your rich millionaires to buy only from their rich oligarch distribution companies. We ain't fool. But there's more I could talk about with that. But you can see what's gonna happen on the 21st. That's tomorrow. No, 2 days. On the 21st. All right. Um, he's gonna get sentenced, but they are. But the first dominoes already dropped. More is gonna drop. But I don't want y'all to think the FNM is innocent. All right. I don't want y'all to think the FNM is innocent. But I started to say all of the police officers involved in these latest stuff, they FNM police officers. Sonny Miller's hard FNM. He used to campaign for ministers. Hard FNM. Michael Johnson is a hard FNM police officer. Hard FNM. Known FNM. Curtis is a hard FNM from FNM family. All the officers who've been tangled up in this whole thing, they FNM police officers. You all better wake up. Y'all say right there thinking the hope is the FNM. I am just trying to remind you where we just come from so we don't end up back there. Yes, you're stuck in this trap that we got to swing from PLP to FNM to PLP to FNM. I'm not stuck in that trap, and I don't want my baby people to be stuck in that trap. If you see the trap, you got to warn the people. We could see the foolishness the PLP doing. See it. We exposing it. But the PLP and the FNM are one. And so for those who are saying I should stop talking about the FNM, nope. Because if we are cursed or you curse yourselves and put them in, and you start to get spanked up and you start to see what happens, you say, oh God, they gotta go, like what always happens. All I can say is call someone else. But Pintar doing this and that, let him do it. Because y'all told me don't say nothing with him. Because we know what's coming if we let them get in. If you let them get in, you live with it. And so you've been warned. So again, I can't answer all of these little stuff that they're putting out there, but I see that they're trying to push this narrative that we trying to help the PLP or we working with the PLP. Listen, the FNM and PLP are business partners. They've been working together to screw us. Y'all don't fall for this nonsense, yeah? I've been in Pinewood today, and I saw what Arwak Holmes did. I showed all the documents that Arwak Holmes is FNM and PLP. That's Brent Simonet and Frankie Wilson, them. And to Orville Turnquest and Bradley Roberts. That's a bunch of FNMs and PLPs. And they are doing the bidding of their party. They just have their people as directors or leaders so that they get their interest. The FNM and PLP are running like a mafia. And they're supposed to work everything together. They're supposed to get a piece of the pie from everything. And the only time they fight each other is when one tries to do something without including the next one. Everyone who's donated to them knows that if you give to one, you got to give to the next one. It's simple as that. You all stop falling for this foolishness. Anyway, by the way, we had a great prayer conclave tonight. So thank you for those who pray. Keep praying for us. Expect the oligarchs to start attacking me. They want the port authority. Do not let them buy the port. Do not let government, brave, if you do one sensible thing, do not let them buy the port. Don't mind them names they telling you. They're trying to take over the port authority in Grand Bahama. Don't let it happen. That's the FNM starting. If you let that happen, the FNM now is a country within a country. If y'all know what they got planned for y'all, remember I always warn you, and everything that I say comes to pass. All right, so expect the oligarchs to start to attack me in different ways. Watch out for those names. Watch out for, if you see any oligarch people coming after me, watch them. Watch the Tribune, watch the Guardian, watch the people behind it, and watch the next couple of months. All right. So I just wanted to clear that up. I'm glad I cleared it up. I'm not going to take any calls tonight. But that's it. We had a great time walking in Pinewood today. It was phenomenal. The people are ready for change. And thank God, man. Because, I mean, how much suffering you want? I saw some houses today that really, I could have cried. Houses was cracked up on the outside. I don't even know how the walls still standing. That's what the FNM and PLP did to us through our homes. They made billions while we suffered. So they did to us, man. And we shaking pom-poms behind them and they laughing at us. One man pulled me in his house tonight and he said his wife had to move out. He didn't have nowhere to go. But his wife had to move out, go live with people because the ceiling was falling down, man. That's what the FNM and PLP did to us. They got rich. They knew those houses were temporary houses, not meant for anything long term. And they got very wealthy. They made over $1 billion between the aggregate cutting down the hills in Pinewood and building those houses. Not profit, but that's what they made. They did that to those people, man. And the more they abuse us, the more we vote for them. Your light bill high because of them. Not because anything happening in the world. That's your fuel surcharge from Focal that is owned by them together. Your food bill high because they have the monopoly on food. They want expenses high so they can make more money from VAT. If a carton of egg costs $1, that's 10 cents VAT. If it costs $6, that's 60 cents VAT. They got to make more money without raising VAT. So they could say, hey, we reduce VAT. But they increase the cost of living to make that money right back. They raped us for 4.5 years with 10% VAT. They didn't make all the money they want. They made billions. 3 point something billion dollars a year for 4 years is over $12 billion they made. Where that money gone? 12 billion? Where the money gone? 12. You only had that I pay. It's almost 5 years. That's almost $15 billion. Where did the money go? So you raise it for 4.5 years, make all of them billions from us, and then reduce it by half for 6 months, and then say you can stop it for the next 6 months till you get voted for, then you can raise it to 15%. We gotta wake up. Someone said they loved the show last night. Yeah, it was a powerful show. There's a lot of that going on. We don't show you everything we're doing, but we have a vision for this country, an actual vision for this country. No mind pinta them. They're looking for how them and the oligarchs can make money. All right. We have a vision to take this country forward. We want to empower Bahamians to do the things like you saw those people plan on doing. And we're talking to professors from all over the world. We're ready to govern from day one. We know what to do. And so we're going to start releasing our shadow ministers this Sunday. Make sure you're there. Abaco, we're going to see you tomorrow on Moores Island. We're going to Moores Island. We're going to be there at 12 p.m. In Moores Island. And the next day at 7 p.m., we're going to be at the gym. And so make sure you join us. So thank you all for tuning in. Someone says last night was wild. It's just vision, man. We want to have conversations about moving this country forward. So for the next couple of months, they're gonna find ways to attack us. They're gonna come at us. They're gonna fight us in every way they can. You're gonna see the PLP coming at us, the FNM coming at us. You might see lawsuits. You might see arrests. You might see all kind of things. But that's how they fight. Remember, they didn't want Trump in, so they started doing all kind of things. And you get locked up, you get sued, you get everything. But he still won. I'm not endorsing that or endorsing him. I'm just telling you what happens. When they want to come after you and they're the government, they can do what they want. But we're going to stand strong and stand firm. We're not going to be moved. We're not going to be intimidated. And they can throw everything they got at us. But go out there and evangelize. Talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, and let's transform this country. Now, there's some people, last thing I'm going to say, there's some people who feel like, oh, look at the by-election. I'm going to say this to you again. The by-election has zero connection to the general election. Out of the 11 by-elections we've had from the 70s, even before the independence, 9 of them was won by the government. Only 2, which were staunch seats, was won the opposition. It was staunch seats. If the PLP is in power and the FNM, there's a by-election in St. Anne's, for example, and the FNM wins. That don't mean nothing. That's just a FNM seat. That's just a staunch FNM seat. All right, in the past. We believe they want change now. But the government always wins by election because people don't want to vote against the government. All right? The government is going to get there. People will say, hey, I give you a contract, I give you this, I give you that. Just go vote for us, man. We give you. People don't vote against the government because it is during by elections because it's not going to change anything. They can still be the government, and people just don't turn up. So it means nothing. Give you a last example. All right. There's some people who are concerned that, oh, the Bahamians ain't ready. See what they did in the by election. That always happens in the by election. They always vote for the government. And guess what? The government always loses afterwards. Every time. Give you an example. For those who didn't hear me say this before, in 97, Pinlin stepped down. There was a by election in South Andres. No one would have even dreamed that the PLP could lose South Andres. But guess what? They lost in a landslide in South Andres. The PLP got thrown out. That's Pinlin's backyard. They voted for the FNM, who was the government, because people don't want to vote against the government. But guess what? The FNM lost in a massive landslide in the next election in 2002. So the by-election had nothing to do with the election. When Ingram stepped down, it was the same thing for the final time. Ingram stepped down, and no one thought that the FNM could lose North Abaco. How? In what world could that happen? But guess what? The FNM lost. The PLP won in a landslide in North Abaco. All right? Because people just don't like vote against the government. And guess what happened? The PLP lost in the biggest landslide ever. All of Perry, Shane, Gibson, Obi, Wilshcombe, everyone who you thought could never lose their seat lost their seat. They threw out Fred Mitchell, all of them was gone. All right? And so, and so the by-election has nothing to do with the election. Don't hurt your head. You can see in the general election when the big fight reach, that's when they can see. Many of them civil servants didn't want to come out to vote. They didn't want to vote against the government and still go work for them. So we'll see. But at the meantime, we doing this because it's the right thing to do. We gotta fight this battle. We're not afraid. We have nothing personally to lose, but we have a nation to lose if we let the PLPF and them get back in there. So thank you all for supporting us. Watch for the tricks. They're going to come. They keep trying to say, oh, Lincoln being selling out. Oh, Maria Doxson getting to the FNM. If Maria Doxson goes to the FNM, then she going to the FNM. Let's keep moving. What's the big deal? Let's keep fighting. You're never going to end with everyone you start with. I don't believe Maria will ever do that. Maria is solid. But when they come with these rumors, so what? If someone decides they want to switch sides, okay. If someone decides they want to step down, okay. It won't be the first time it happens. We keep fighting. We keep moving forward. As you're on the front line in the army, and the arrows and spears are coming at you, people are going to fall at your right. People are going to fall at your left. But you have to keep pressing forward. You have to keep advancing. And so, for those who can make it, who can press, let's press. Let's fight for this country before these foreigners take this over. For those who can't, then they can't. We can keep moving. But thank you all for tuning in. God bless you all. Abaco, we're going to see you tomorrow and see you the next day. And on Sunday, we want to see all of you all when we start releasing our shadow ministers, all right? It's time to talk about vision for this country, all right? Not about scandal. Time to talk about vision for this country, all right? So God bless you all. We love you all. The FNM is going to keep lying and keep deceiving, and so will the PLP. And they're going to keep attacking us, and they're going to come at us even worse than they've been doing before because they are desperate. The oligarchs want to get back in bad, and they feel that we're going to get in the way. And so they're going to come after me. Watch. I mean, this is going to be entertaining. Just wait. You can see it. Everything I say, I'll say it. They still do it. I'll say this what they coming with, and they can't stop. All right. So watch the oligarch. Just wait for it, because they won't get back in so bad. Watch the PLP come and attack us. Watch they come and attack us. It coming. And sure, watch in a couple weeks. If they got to do it before election. Stay tuned. And when it happen, I can replay the same thing right here, and then I can show you. See what they doing? Don't fall for it. All right? That's how they play the old way to deceive you, to trick you. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't sell out. I've never sold out, and I never will. When I stand for something, I stand for that, and nothing could stop me. You got to kill me and send me to my mansion in heaven to stop me. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We love you. The other shoe is going to drop on those indictments. And I can tell you one thing: if the PLP don't win, they know they're gone. So they can fight with their last breath to win. The oligarchs won't get back in bad. So watch they start coming at Lincoln Bean. Stay tuned. You'll see. Let's save this country.